Podcast number 1.
What? That feels pretty cool.
I know, right?
Yeah. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Very good. Very happy to be doing this.
Thank you so much for making the time. Thank you so much for agreeing.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime.
I'm so jealous of
Oh,
you.
I like the pictures in the back.
Yeah, this is my attempt of feeling like I'm outside.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually at Palette Cafe. So
Okay.
yeah, it's nice here.
All right. Do you often
Yeah.
work from cafes, or do you just stay home and work from home most of the time?
No, so I usually try and work from home, but
Yeah.
when the moment I leave the house and I'm away from my kids, I take that opportunity to spend as much time away from my kids.
I see.
So yeah, and it's so much easier because when I'm at home, they always find me.
Yeah.
So I really need to, yeah.
Okay. All right. How is it going, man? It's been so long.
Good. I know, but I'm seeing you, like I keep up with you and everything that you're doing, but it's
Thank
been
you.
good. Just trying
Yeah.
to hang in there. This year has been a bit rough, but
Yeah.
hanging in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, welcome to
Yeah.
the first episode of the Hunja Acting Podcast. What?
Yeah.
Break some glass.
Can you edit this afterwards and like just put all of that stuff in there?
Yeah. I will definitely put in all the fireworks, man. Yeah, man. So like, when I started Hunja Active, um, like it was just generally to just coach people online. That was 90% of the plan.
Yeah.
I didn't know what 10% was going to be, and this 10% is just making it a bit more holistic and just having more of a like a holistic approach to wellness.
Yes.
And I have a lot of people that look to me for answers when it comes to wellness, but there's people like yourselves and other people in the industry that are doing things that others can relate to. Hence why I reached out to you, so we can just have a quick conversation about your wellness and your journey and how it's been so far.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
I guess it really is like, I think one thing to note is that my entire life I've kind of been, or let's say when I was younger, I was like super active, super sporty. And I guess that's just one aspect of it, the fitness side. And that was one thing that I was when I was a lot younger. So moving into, secondary school, university, when I kind of got out of that and started, I've gained a lot of weight and just started becoming really unhappy just all round, mentally, physically. It was just an unhappy time. So I think when I got back, and I always tried to get back in it, but it just didn't seem to work. And I think then after I had both my kids, it just reached a stage for me, like end of 2018, like December, like when I had just had Mali. And I just realized, I just reached a point where I was like, I really need to start giving myself a bit more attention. And like also I had been like too stuck in being just like playing a mom role and just caring about my kids, solely about my kids. I kind of forgot about my life and just my well-being. So it just reached a point where I was like, this has got to change. So like last year, January, I was like, okay, now I'm taking as soon as I was cleared to start working out, that was my first step. So I was like, I'm going to start going to the gym again, feeling good in that respect, getting fitter. Cause also like now I had a kid who was getting super, super active. And I was like, I need to keep up with this one. I have 2 now, like I was just at that point where I just need to get fit. So that was my first stage. And that was going really well. I was doing it with Wilson at, I was doing it at CrossFit Kwetu. I was doing it with Wilson, and that was going super well for me. But then I was lacking a lot of other wellness aspects of my life, and I think that was something that I thought would just come automatically with working out solely, but that's not the case. As well as that was going, as fit as I was getting, or like I was getting stronger and all of that kind of stuff, I still felt like mentally I needed to do a lot of work on myself, and even mentally, and then also just like spiritually, emotionally, all of that kind of stuff. Like I had a lot of work to do. So so I started seeing Coach Roseanne now, which was about my nutrition. I wanted to lose a lot of fat that was on me, and at that time in my head I was like, oh, if I'm skinnier, I'll also be prettier. That was my mindset at that time. So there I was trying to lose, and I was working. I started seeing Coach Roseanne. I was doing with Wilson. Like 1 month later I was fitting into dresses. I was feeling really good. Like I could see myself like losing fat. Like that was really a really great stage for me. But still from there I realized that there was still a lot of mentally I had to do a lot of work on myself. So that's when I started, I think my page became all about positivity, starting your day with like positive vibes, reading all these like affirmations, gratitude journaling. I was doing a lot of that stuff just to make sure that I was, mentally that, because I realized at the end of the day, if I'm not okay in my head, then nothing else would seem okay. All that effort I was putting in, all that stuff, all that weight I was losing, like if I wasn't happy mentally, like none of it would matter. So I started, even that, what that meant for me as well in terms of being a mom was trying to spend time away from my kids, because at the time it was literally 24/7 with my kids, which is great, I love them, but you get really drained. So it'd be like just going to go do activities for myself. I started seeing my friends again, going to a few parties, maybe having a few drinks, like whatever it was that made me happy, I was trying to get back into that space. So it took me the whole year to kind of work on myself, which of course I'm not there yet, but like it took me a whole year to really be in a place. It was hard, but it was so worth it, and I'm in such a happier place than I was at the beginning of last year. So, and I think also one thing that I had to realize for myself is it's slow. Nothing happens within like a week, whether it's losing weight, whatever it was, like it just, I had to be slow and trust the process. That whole thing of trusting the process, whatever. That's what it took me. It took me a whole year to just get to where I am now. And it was so worth it. Everything that I went through last year was so worth it. Yeah.
All right. So you've mentioned quite a lot in terms of like how you define wellness. It's definitely changed from pre that like tipping point versus now. So how do you define wellness now for yourself?
Wellness is just balance in every aspect of your life. I think the most important thing is mental. And then everything follows. But of course, for you to be mentally happy, you also have to be happy in different aspects of your life. So everything is really intertwined. I'm beginning to learn. So I need to work on every aspect and not just work on one thing that I think will make me happy. So it took a while to realize that it's everything all together at the same time, slowly by slowly. That's wellness. And continuously just doing things for yourself to make you happy, putting yourself first, and then letting other things follow.
Okay. And you mentioned stepping away from your kids and seeing friends and going to parties. So like, what does a day in the life of Tatiana Karanja's life look like right now?
So I mean, I'm still, let's say I'm 90% all about my kids. So you'll see me mostly with my kids, which is really important for me to make sure that I am in their lives completely. Yes, I have a nanny to help me out, but I want to be the primary, caregiver, the person that my kids will go to. I mean, at this stage in life, I feel like they need me a lot, and I'm lucky that I'm lucky enough to have a job that I can be very flexible. So that's my primary, that's where I'm at first. But then, of course, that also means within a week, I have to make sure to be able to do something for myself. Whether that's to get out and like maybe one night it's like I need to go and get wasted and that's going to relieve my tension. That could be it, and I'm going to do it. Maybe it's just to go and have lunch with my friends one night. Maybe it's maybe it's just like even meetings, get away for meetings and make me feel like I'm really trying the best to provide for everybody. That makes me feel great about myself, being able to work, being able to put up proposals, send out emails. All of that stuff makes me feel very proud of myself, which makes me feel like I'm trying to be the best mom that I can be and provide. So I make sure at least also every day to get at least 30 minutes for yourself, even though it's hard sometimes, that 30 minutes just to be by yourself and like have a rest is super important, especially as a mom, because you're constantly, like for me, at least my kids are constantly on my body, constant. And I'm talking about it's mom 24/7 and that gets really draining. So for me, it's like to step away and take time. And it's been, for me, I'm a helicopter mom. So it's, I find it very difficult to let people step in and take care of my kids for me. So that has been one of the biggest challenges over the year. And like, I like going through Korea, I was told I had to leave my kids for like 2 to 3 weeks. And I think I've never felt like that scared in my entire life, because I've never left my kids for more than 2 nights. So, like things like that, I've just had to learn to let go and kind of, think about myself, and also just appreciate the fact that people around me also, will step in for me. And
that must have been a really, really, really difficult time. And I'm really sorry that you went through that, but I feel you must have helped thousands of people who are going through something of
I
that,
hope so.
of that gravity to be a bit more open about it, number one, and also
Yeah.
to see that you can actually get out of it and live abundantly with COVID and after COVID.
Yeah.
So yeah, how was that?
So we were lucky though,
Yeah. In terms of
because we
being
didn't really
asymptomatic,
go
yeah.
through it. Yeah, I mean, I genuinely didn't, like, if I could tell, the way I felt before I had the test was like, it's been a hard week. I've really killed myself at the gym. I'm not
Yeah.
sleeping well. I'm tired. You know that feeling of you're just tired.
Yeah.
Not that, yeah, that's how I felt. I mean, there was one day where I felt like sniffly and stuff, but it was just one of those things where I'm like, I've actually overworked my body. I really didn't feel like I'm sick. You know, so that was the only thing that I went through. And so even when my kids were positive, nothing, they went through absolutely nothing. I think Wayne was the one who had it the worst out of all of us. Lost his sense of smell and his taste and that kind of stuff, but really we were so lucky. We really didn't go through anything serious. The only thing was mentally, like when you first learn about like that you have it, and then you think about everything that's going on TV, people dying, all of that kind of stuff, leaving your kids, that was the mental side of it was really tough. And then now going back into society where you're thinking everyone is going to be kind of like shunning you, you hear about all these stories of people, like neighborhoods want like families out of the neighborhood because they've had it, like people being bullied. I have like somebody told me people from their work would call her and tell them if anybody ever died it was because of her. You know, like that. So for me that was the mental side of it, but really we were really lucky with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm really glad. Really glad. So let's switch gears a little. Tell me about Wayne. Tell me about wellness in your relationship and how is that going? How has that been? And is there a focus on it?
Wow. Honestly, so it was really tough when Olive was first born. Like, I don't know if you know, but we it's actually quite public. We broke up at one point. And honestly, the first year of having a child, at least for us, was extremely difficult. And I say this because we got together and we got pregnant really quickly. So at the same time as we're trying to learn each other as couples, like have time to kind of build that foundation, we're then now also having to deal with a child. And that was really difficult on us because, like, for me, all my concentration, all my focus went on to Olive, and like I had kind of forgotten about Wayne. And you know, it's easier now to look back and think about that, but at the time you're not really understanding why somebody's getting irritated with you, and even there's so many things that go on, and there's this whole other child you have to take care of. Like, I mean, there was a lot of pressure. So definitely we took a break, and we took a whole year last year to kind of work on ourselves, work on our goals, family goals. And I think now one of our biggest things is to make sure to get at least once a week, one night alone, or one day and a night alone away from the kids, where we get to reconnect, think about our, you know, like just talk about our own things without having people around, and just to get that intimacy going again. And I think for us that has been really pivotal this year. Just one day and night a week. And that has been our change, and just being and communication. I know that's one of the things that everybody talks about, but definitely we've learned over the past years that, you know, talking about our communication, thinking about ways of making it easy on both of us to go through those hard conversations, that has been something that has also taken us to the next steps of like just understanding each other better and being able to communicate better, being able to be in a relationship better. And it's also been super important for our kids as well. You know, you want to be able to give the best to your kids, and you can't if you're constantly just not communicating well. So that's been one aspect of wellness, I think, in a relationship that we've taken really seriously, and it has really helped.
Okay, fantastic. And I mean, you guys look really great together. I mean, man, it's just like those hashtag goals, man, hashtag couple goals, man.
But it's taken us like to hit the absolute bottom to be able to get to where we are today. So definitely things happen for a reason. But it was tough. It was really tough.
And that is relationships, man. People think relationships should just be up, but it's really this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like the entire time.
100%. And it's because of movies. You think it's just all happy, you go from there, and they lived happily ever after.
You lock eyes, she drops her papers all over the floor, you pick them up for her, you exchange numbers, and you live happily ever after. You know, you run to the airport, chasing after her. You know, it doesn't work like that.
And it's really not like that.
No. Most of the time it's just, have you bought the KPLC tokens? No, I thought you don't know what's going to do. That relationship.
Exactly.
All right.
That is so true. Yeah.
And social
Yeah.
media. So you're quite active in social media. You're very well known. You're an influencer. You must need to be close to your phone a lot of the time. So how do you deal with social media and mental wellness?
Honestly, I think that's something that I'm working on this year, because it's really during this COVID period that I've concentrated more on my social media, because obviously no one was hiring a photographer this year. Like, it's the least on your,
Yeah.
So this year is when I've really tried to concentrate on it. And I'm still really working on that, because there are times where I literally just want to throw my phone. Like, there are times where I've deleted my account and the next day I'm like, oh wait, I have work. I have to post something, it's been really difficult on me, just because I don't have the time to reply to comments, which I know I should. It's not that I don't appreciate everybody's love and support and messages and all of that stuff. I just don't have the time. I'm literally posting something and then I'm on my kids again, So like I said, I'm 90% with my kids. So it's really difficult for me to manage social media, I guess. Really I think the interactions are very hard. And another thing this year that has also been a bit difficult is when people post a few like bad when people are mean, and I don't get this a lot, but I'm also just a very sensitive and emotional person, I realize. So when people do post something a bit mean, it really gets to me. And that's something I'm learning to deal with now. And it takes I'm really lucky because I have a really great support system who always, they're like, but you know what, this is why they're doing that, they're just jealous, or and I have those people constantly being able to support me. But it's something that I have to learn how to do. That's social media wellness is something. If you have any tips for me, let me know, because this is where I'm at now.
I think for me, I spent like earlier this year, I spent like maybe 3-4 hours unfollowing and muting lots of people, because I really I'm like a sponge. I suck up a lot of inputs, and this year has been a lot, just blocking all those inputs away from me, just to keep me on my track. And it really helps me, because I mean, Instagram, I don't think I can leave Instagram. I don't think I can not reach for my phone and look at the app every so often. So I try to curate at least what I see, things that actually bring value to me. So I follow a lot of coaches, a lot of motivational speakers. My favorite basketball team. Things that I'm actually interested in. So it's definitely a learning process. You just have to be intentional about it. Very, very intentional about it.
Actually, you're right about that, because even I remember last year, like a lot of the people I used to follow, that I started following, were positive quotes and like people who are trying to bring light to your day. So I think I'm also following like that. In that respect, I also have tried to curate a better positive kind of follow it, like whoever I'm following.
Tell me about reading. Are you a
What about
reader?
reading? I hate reading. I was like, where are you going with this?
The question was gonna be, what are you reading now? And I figured, let's start from this end of the question.
Okay, so what I am actually reading is children's books.
Okay.
And I read those to my kids once in a while.
Yeah.
They love story time, so I love reading to them just because I like how happy it makes them. But I personally hate reading. Every book anyone has ever gifted me will go to my dad.
Okay. But now, speaking of your kids and reading to them and influence them, how do you influence their wellness from an early age? Because I think it's something a lot of parents try to do, but are trying to find.
I think they learn from what they see.
Expound on that. Expound on that.
Yeah, okay. So, I think, firstly, as being a parent, it's just difficult trying to always make sure that your kids are doing the right thing, or trying to, like that is difficult on its own. And I think trying to stopping perfection expectations is number one thing. Like, don't try and be a perfect parent. There's no such thing. Don't try and look at what other people are doing and then try and copy that, because what works for somebody and their kids might not be what's working for you and your kids. So I think also that thing of trying to look at what everyone else is doing, just stop that immediately. Like that's something I had to do at the beginning of this year, because I was realizing like people are putting their kids in online school, people are then playing with their kids, then painting with their kids, then and I'm just like, I can't be that kind of mom. That's not me. And the moment that I realized that, it became a lot easier for me to deal with this year. So I think trying to be perfect, just like put that out of the window. And I think they learn from they do learn from what they see. So already my kids love trying to do handstands and squats and all that kind of stuff, like fitness in that kind of respect. Like they love that because they see me doing that. So I always make sure to take my kids to the gym with me, or, so in that kind of wellness. And I think wellness in terms of their minds, and just always telling them what they're doing well, and, they're kind, they're beautiful, they're smart, that just reinforcing those things is super important to a kid. And also I'm the kind of mom that allows my kids to be themselves, and a lot of people comment on that because they're always like either in dirt, muddy, or like just doing whatever, like climbing on table, I don't know, like rough wild kids. And I think that
love it.
I think that's super important, because they're just discovering and just trying to see who they are out there in this world. And I just think that's important, just to kind of reinforce whatever their actions, and just see the good in what they're trying to do, instead of always trying to like stop them from doing something because you think other people are looking, or whatever it might be. I think that's important. So, and I'm hoping, and I'm always trying to say kind words. So like, for example, the other day Olive said something about somebody being fat, and I was just like, first and foremost, I don't know where you heard that from, because you're 3. Secondly, whatever size somebody is, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. Ooh, yeah, no matter what. So whatever, like she didn't say it in a negative way, but it's now something that I realized I need to talk about these things, and always make sure that she knows that everybody's in. Or like, for example, when we're talking about, let's say, being gay, or like men wearing makeup, or whatever it is, I always want to have those positive reinforcements where my kids know that everybody is beautiful no matter what they're doing, and so are they. Whatever they want to be, whoever they want to be, it's a beautiful thing, and they should be proud of that. And that's the kind of like reinforcements I want to make sure that I put in them.
That's beautiful. Do you think some elements of how you were raised influence the way you raise your kids?
I do think so. Like, my parents have been very open, which is great, and very liberal, and allowed me to experiment and be the person that I would like to be. But also the circumstances I've been in. So I was lucky enough to go to different schools in different countries, where I also saw a lot of different things like that I wouldn't have necessarily seen living in Kenya. And I got to have different friends from different backgrounds and different walks of life, that kind of also opened my eyes a bit. And I think being able to have experienced that has also shown me a lot about the world, which I otherwise wouldn't have if I had lived my whole life here, I think, personally.
Okay. So exposure really, really helps you.
Yes, 100%. Like, I mean, in university, I had friends from like so many different kinds of styles, different kind of backgrounds, different kind of, just everything. And it just made me appreciate a lot of different things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Closing questions. Dun, dun, dun.
All right. I'm ready.
What advice would you give 20-year-old Tatiana now?
I think stop being so embarrassed. I mean, stop being so... there were times where I was embarrassed about the most ridiculous things, and I was so lucky to have those things that I was embarrassed about. And of course, everyone's situation is different. It's like you experience things differently, but I would just say, just be proud of who you are, because whether or not you might not be popular or in this situation, or you might not have what other people have, but I had so much going for me, and I was so lucky about the things that I had around me. But I think that also comes with experience. So as much as I would love to have been able to tell myself that, I think the things that I went through definitely built the person I am today. And if I didn't go through those things, I wouldn't have the same mentality, or I wouldn't be the same person. So, as much as I would have loved to change some of the things that happened, I think it just happened for a reason. So, I mean, as much as I'd love to be able to give my daughter those experiences and like teach her from them, she'll have to go through them for herself to be able to come out on the other side.
That's a really good segue into the next question, which is,
okay.
how do you deal with failure? And can you tell me about one failure that has completely built you to the woman that you are today?
So I failed university. And I think, well, fail, I had to repeat. And I was just like, F that. I know that, you know what, I was in a situation where standards and like the outlook on life was different than it was here. And I was just like, you know what, I know for myself that if I go back to Kenya, I'm going to work hard and I'm going to make it no matter what other people say. I don't need this degree to be able to go home and do what I want to do. And even my dad was like, no, but you need this and, you know, whatever. And I was like, no, I 100% for sure I'm going to make this. And I think that really pushed me into, when I got back, I was like, I'm not failing. Like, I'm going to make it. And I'm going to show everybody who thought I wouldn't be able to do this that I'm going to do it. And I did. Yeah. So here we are today. Yeah.
Here we are today.
All those people who failed me. Yeah, exactly.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, man. I mean, there are lots of Kenyan parents right now that are just looking at us like, whoa, these kids are making it without papers. This whole
exactly.
You need the papers. You need the papers. It's like, man, the last like 1 million shillings I made, people didn't even care if I went to uni or not.
Exactly.
For the work I did, you know. So
yeah, I think as long as you're hardworking and you're passionate and you know you're really gonna, you know, try and put your dreams to, you know, to realization. That's all that matters. I mean, I wouldn't say that's all that matters, of course, but you need to work hard. It's
a huge factor. It's a huge factor.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. And I really hope you have a quick answer for this one.
Oh God.
What quote or saying do you live by, or have you heard in recent past that you heard it and it just slapped different?
No, can you call me back in like 20 minutes and pretend like just cut it into the video? Because I know I have some quotes.
Come on.
Nothing is coming to mind right now. No, I don't have anything right now. Isaac, how could you do this to me? This is one thing you could have told me before we started this conversation. A quote. Huh?
Oh, it doesn't have to be like an end-to-end quote, but at least like a perspective, or
can it just be "Don't worry, be happy," Bob Marley? Yeah,
it can.
Because I just feel like that is how I live my life.
Don't worry, be happy.
Yeah, and I think it's like as simple, and it's just maybe sounds silly, but literally there are moments where things are literally just going to shit, and I'm just there like, you know what? It's fine. I'm good. My kids are happy, they're healthy, life will be fine. No matter what happens, this will turn around, and things always seem to work out. My sister's actually handing me a quote right now, so let me read what she's handed. Yeah. Let's see. Some stories don't have a clear beginning, middle, and end. Life is about not knowing, having to change, taking the moment, and making the best of it without knowing what's going to happen next. Delicious ambiguity.
Ooh. Delicious ambiguity. I like that.
That's quite interesting. Thanks, Kat. Thanks for that. Maybe just cut the whole thing and pretend I read that.
Let me see her. Just turn the
Kat,
screen around.
say hi.
Hi. What up? Good to see you. Thank you for helping out.
You said thank you for helping.
All right. Thank you so much, Tatiana. This has been fantastic.
Thank you so much.
So happy, and yay. I know these words will help at least one person. That's my goal. You know, in anything I do, anything I say, when I speak to people, I don't care if there's 1,000 people in the room. At least one person will take those words, and it'll help them in one way or another. So thank you so much for doing that.
Amen. I love that.
And thank you for the good work that you're doing. You're such an inspiration, and
thanks, Isaac. Oh.
And your kids are fantastic, and I can't wait to see the women that they grow up to be. So
thanks, Isaac. Yeah, this has been great, and I'm looking forward to all the other the sessions that you have. I was going to say podcast, but I realized it's actually not a podcast, but I'm looking forward to the rest.
Cheers, man. Have a lovely afternoon.
Thanks, Isaac. You too. Alrighty, bye.
Bye.